Good evening, heroes and heroines, and welcome to Practising Programming in C on this kind of, I guess, a bit of an exceptional day in British politics. MPs just had a vote within the last hour, I think, or last hour or two. They're voting on whether to set aside time next Monday for another round of indicative votes on potential ways forward for Brexit. And the vote was a tie. It was 310 votes in favour, 310 votes against this motion. So the Speaker had to kind of he had to, what do you call it, place a deciding vote. It's the first time that's happened since 1993. And the last time that it did happen was on an amendment to the Maastricht Treaty, to something to do with the Maastricht Treaty. And the Maastricht Treaty, I believe, was to do with setting up the European Union, which was previously known as the European Community. I believe, could have got this wrong. But the Maastricht Treaty was to do with setting up the EU. So it's kind of interesting that this little kind of symmetry between today's tied vote and the previous one. But anyway, we're not doing politics today. We're doing programming. Just check that we're on. Yeah, we seem to be. We've only been going for just a couple of minutes. That's good. We haven't wasted an awful lot of time. And yeah, we're just doing the compile errors. So let's just go for it. Let's get on with it. Let me just see if I can I get that? I don't need that window to be quite that big. There we go. That's a more reasonable size. So, 1826. HTML is now a, what do you call it? It's now a string. Now I think I tried to do this the other day, but I didn't, but failed to do it. And I failed to do it because I missed this error. This it's just a warning actually. What's the line? 1826. So yeah, I just need to do this. And then 1832. It's kind of unfortunate that it's going to keep throwing me up to the wrong place. Can I just, if I just go down? No expansion macro. Yeah, I guess it's the macro, just piecemeal expand it, maybe. I guess, yeah, you just build and then just go to the next one, I guess. Interesting, this one didn't take me up to it didn't go up to the macro because it's not a macro. It's copy straight to buffer HTML% encoded. Okay, so this thing is taking a car star string. Okay, so what we need to do here is the following. It's taking a string. I think we want to be switching on the string base at I. Yeah, so that's going to stuff it all into the buffer. The desk pointer is to do with that. Isn't this kind of a bit weird? If the desk pointer take away the desk location is greater than or equal to the desk size, can't accommodate this. So these are single characters. It's going to, in all of these cases, it's going to be increasing the length by 2. What is length exactly? So the length, I don't think we use start, or do we? Well, we kind of do. So fprintf could take the string length, the string base and the string length. Yeah, in some ways it kind of seems like we should, really, if we want to do this correctly, we should do a pass over the thing first to count up the length necessary. Then we do the check to see if we have got the space available. And if we have, we then go over the thing again. Do you know what I mean? Because by the time we've done this, you know, if we do this, and we do this test here, it's too late, isn't it? If the pointer and the location are further away than the size, then we emit this error. It just seems like that isn't what you want to be doing. So I'm going to redo this and make it actually perform the test first. And string doesn't have to do that. And also this here. So we don't have, there's no such thing as starts anymore, because that's always going to be stored in the string space. This particular arrow down here is going to be the string. Well, actually, the first one is going to be the string length. So this should build, shouldn't it? So yeah, so now that particular call to copy string to buffer HTML % encoded did just succeed, because we're taking the thing that was actually being passed. But as I say, let's do this a bit more correctly. So we first of all see if we've got the actual thing. So all we're doing first of all, in all of these cases, we're going to be incrementing the length. And if we're defaulted, we just break. So let's do this. Right. So in all these cases, these are going to fall through and increment the length, then break. Then, if the desc pointer take away the desc location plus the length is greater than or equal to the desc size, bearing in mind there needs to be a space for the null terminator. Let me admit this error. I think that's more like what you want to say. So copy string. It's taking so yeah, I thought it does take a format. So it's copying to, we're passing the desc size and format. The desc size and the format. So I think here I want to be saying okay, now we've got a different thing here. We've got an iNotify add watch. So I think, does this just mean that we need to unfortunately turn that HTML dir into a null terminator string? So a watch handle descriptor, that is going, the descriptor is going to be the thing that actually denotes the file that's being watched, doesn't it? So I don't think we need to care about storing the path, do we? You know, it's kind of like, it doesn't matter whether the actual thing, so the path is here, watch handle, okay. Okay, so we've got the descriptor, and then we've got a path. Max root dir, like, is that what I just copied in actually? So we copy the string into the path, I see, right. Well, hang on a minute. We're copying in the current product HTML dir, so haven't just copied that in. Why not just use that? Eh? That should suffice, shouldn't it? Can't think of any reason why not, because we've literally just copied that very thing into there, and previously we wanted to be using that thing here, but since we've just copied this into here, I might actually make sure that there's space here for a null terminator, because I think what's happening here, max redirection length / max relative asset location length. If I give it another byte, so there's definitely going to be room for a null terminator, then we could use that to pass to inative add what, because this is surely got to be a null terminated car star. Yeah, let's do that. In practice, we probably won't actually hit the max. Probably won't be at the actual maxes. Let's just see what we're copying in there. So it's a HTML dir length. So I presume we're just literally watching the actual directory. Whereas here we've got something happening here. Extending the path by the resolved symlink path. Resolve path. I presume that's doing the right thing down there. Oops. So this is another format string, which is fine. Fine by us. So this could be a wrap 0 implicitly terminated, couldn't it? I think. Well, what is it? It's the assets asset file name. Yeah. Max asset file name length +1. And the reason that this is all sized, although this isn't, play landmark, an asset. So I was going to say the reason why it's sized is that we store this in the database. what we actually don't. It's only this that we store. And yeah, as I say, with things that are fixed size, you can use the wrap 0i. Too few arguments. Copy string. So it could be those two, the built-in assets. Seems to just, yeah, be assuming it's not terminated. I mean, for extra safety there, I suppose we could wrap that thing up. And pass that separately. Oh, that's fine. It's not. It will be a not terminated string because these guys are. That's just how they roll. And then we've got this dude, same again. I might actually defer. I'm going to defer this this stuff here. So in order to defer it while keeping the original stuff, let's just give us a new define. April Fool's Day. Right, so we can just skip that. So if force integration. Yeah. Unfortunately, this is a similar idea, isn't it? Let's get this for now as well. Let's see if we can just go through all the copies and anything else that's straightforward, and then go back through the things that are. I mean, probably won't even bother to do this the print things at all. But go back through these ones that we've just done, that we're just skipping right now, and think about how we're going to handle this, because I don't think that we have this option. We don't have the ability. We don't have the force integration option, do we? Add a force integration boolean and a no cache boolean. Unless you present the cache result of length 0 to stress caching. Yeah, I don't know. But the force integration boolean, I think that's what we do. Do that. Get that into the actual project struct, and then use that here. Essentially, and I think it'd be better to do that whole thing in one go, just so we've got everything in place at the same time. The alternative would be to just in here right where we've got bool, just slip it in here, a bool force integration, and then we can just check on that here. But then that could risk just forgetting to do it. I mean, we have the note to do it, but I think I prefer to just do, go through the whole thing. Also, I added those dudes, the theme. What I add, the theme and the genre. Is genre even there? Can you see genre? There it is. So I added genre, theme, and cache directory, but I'm not printing those out. And the print project function doesn't print those dudes out. So I think I'm going to decide to do. I think that's sufficient. So yeah, that's all just to say, skipping this for now and continuing with the copies. I'm right in saying that this is an actual printf one, yeah. Whoa, shit. So yeah, I've got some of these. Player URL prefix also. We're not bothering with. Right? There's just no such thing as this. So I guess actually construct player URL. We want to change the base value to be entry output. Substituting all the base value. Right. And then what I need to do is got the base URL there. We're getting the entry output passed into us. This should also be a string, shouldn't it? we could change the entry output to be a string. I think that's what we have done, haven't we, previously? Yeah, string entry output, there you go. So let's do the same deal. Yeah, that's what we have been doing. So then here, if we have an entry output, then we copy that string to the buffer. Right, play URL is just gone. Play URL prefix, sorry. So this base file name. See where this is actually coming from. Where is that coming from? HTML to buffers. Here we go. Base file name. So I think rather than base file name, oh, hold on a second. Get base file name. So that is going to be the base file name. What are we operating on here exactly? We pass this file in. I think we just don't care about the base file name. Or actually, I think what we want here is if the HTML dot output is set, then use that. Otherwise, get the base file name from the file name in order to use that for, I think that's what we want to be saying. Okay. So we've got the current project. Yank to the comma, please. File name is being passed in. There's the error that we just wrote to do. So where's the file path? Is the file path only being used there? So I think rather than doing a copy string, I'm going to use a make string 0. And I think I'm going to do this differently actually as well. I'm going to say file int file is equal to the fopen file path. But then, if we don't have an int file, well, sorry, we're going to do that, free our string, and then if we don't have the int file, produce this error. Otherwise, continue. I think that's what I want to do. So what have we got here? We've got a length string, we've got a forward slash, and then we've got the file name, which comes in as a car star. I think that's what I want. Multiple ng output. Is that wanting a string? Is that wanting a string pointer? If the strings differ the theme, shouldn't we just say the string length of the theme? Sorry, the then what we do is throw this out there. Otherwise we do that. Shouldn't this have been set somewhere earlier though? Buffer quote menu. Default medium. So we didn't hit that if AFD, did we? Maybe that's still to come. Unless it isn't. Yeah, like I was saying, we need to change this to do this stuff anyway. So what we're looking for, the theme, wasn't it? Yeah. Collation buffers theme. Is that just supposed to be containing the name of the theme? If it's well formed, if the space value is greater than that, space value is too long. If we haven't got a title, base of the title, if the title length is greater than matching, I'll report that. Otherwise, we copy the title into the metadata buffer, the collation buffers. if there's no member, please the member attribute. And then if well, the theme also is probably going to have to change. Well, actually, no. The theme should default to something. So this is probably actually misleading now. The Mac project name length. The theme doesn't necessarily need to correspond to the project name. I think this is bullshit. Oh, actually no I don't. Tag theme. I see. So we're simply throwing that into a collation buffer so that somebody can use the theme tag in their thing. I see. So the question is, strings of collation buffer's theme, if it differs from this, I think I might have to go, once we've done this, I might have to probably somehow search through the whole file for AFD. I think we did handle this, didn't we? But I'm not 100% sure. Well, no. I think we handled this. I feel like we can just totally set this theme early. Like we can just default the theme to get set. You know, in the same way that we're defaulting this. And then in order to end up with a zero length theme, because you can kind of see what's going to happen here. Although this HTML metadata project is actually controllable by the person who writes the annotations. I don't think we should do this at all. I think the theme should be the responsibility of the administrator to set. And it defaults to this so that the config gets read in. A theme is always going to be available, so whatever the theme is, the current project's theme, whatever the hell that is, well, I mean, do we even need a collation buffers for it? Because when we're doing the the buffers to HTML function, outputting all the stuff, integrating with the template, do we have the current project available to us? And we will do, because the current project is global. Right, when we come in here, we're switching on the tag. The collation of, so we're filling the collation buffers theme here, copy string to buffer no output format rather than using the collation buffers. You know, rather than use any of this bullshit, product ID, we could just use that from the current project, right? I think we'll have to change this to take a string. Well, this is taking a cast string. Yes, you will have to change this to take an actual string. And then wrap these dudes. So that's not HTML safe. Yeah, we have got a HTML safe function here. So yeah, right, so we can't get that. What can't we get from the current project? The current project is going to contain all of this garbage, right? So the project ID, we can get that from the current project. The tag project is going to be the project's name, isn't it? Right. That's going to be that. We're not going to have the URL search, I don't reckon. We are going to have the theme that I've just described, wherever that goes. The title is going to be the title of the current file, so that will have been populated. We need the collation buffers to contain that. The URL, player URL search. I reckon we do need to have set these guys up. Video ID, yep. We don't have that available to us. The VOD platform. Yeah, I mean, we could actually... Now, let's keep that just in the current entry thing. Just in case we end up in a situation where a project wants to use multiple VOD platforms. So say that they've got like 20 videos on Vimeo and then another 20 videos on YouTube, and they want them to be all in the same project. We could handle that once we handle Vimeo at all. Tag search. So that's going to output the full-on, the actual search thing into the actual index. The includes, I think we kind of, this will have been populated, won't it? Offset landmarks includes. I'm going to use the player. This is the whole, all the HTML. So I'm inclined to say, I'm just going to straight up enforce that we're going to default the and to just explain what I'd like here. If I'm going to default something, right, I would like to default this to say like they don't bother to set the theme here. They just let the default take effect. I'd like the default to be equal to this person here. So even if you come into here, even the project code will use this one. Project array also will use this one. And I sort of need a name. I need a variable for this person. Right? It's kind of like the parentless project, basically. And I think I did I mention this the other day? I've got a feeling that I did mention it. I was talking about God and all sorts of bullshit like that. Check if everyone's watching. Potentially not, so hopefully I haven't stepped on anybody's dearly held faith there. We need a variable that denotes this, and I think we then use that. So in the same way that we use this variable person here for that, we would use whatever that variable is denoting that for the theme, right? But if somebody wants to override it, then they totally can. So yeah. I think that's what we're going to go with. We're going to go with just the fact that this is going to be the actual current project. Yeah, let's do these guys. Let's do all of these, putting in the actual stuff that we can do. Unless, actually, that should we not do that just yet? Should we wait until we're actually building? Yeah, let's do that. So So the upshot of all of that is that we just straight up use the current project theme. Right, no question. So this is the same thing again, isn't it? It's just always the theme. Taking a point to a string, okay. Didn't I just literally copy that down? Is this one of the cases where well, where did entry output come from? Exactly. Yeah, I don't know. But what's it saying here? It's so this should actually be the entry. It should be the entry output when we do it. Because this is linking, isn't it? It's producing the link to the previous dude. The neighbourhood entry. Hold on a second. They just... Oh, you haven't added it, have we? So this is this end prev is an entry, isn't it? Yeah, it's an actual DB entry. So, as we were saying the other day, once we're on DB5, the header, the DB entry, is going to have to contain the output in addition to the base file name. Let's add the note. So all of that goes to mean when we get here, we're going to be using the actual output. This has occurred in multiple places already, and I could have done with actually marking them up a bit more sensibly, a bit more searchably. I think maybe db entry _5 or whatever you call it. I think that is going to cut them up. That will do it. There we go. Or whatever we call it. They liked entry output. So Also, these entries have an actual size, don't they? So it'd be more like this. There's no such thing as this. So we're just doing the base file name. But again, so now this one is putting it into the dot index file. And this thing is going to be talking about the output again, isn't it? Because it only needs to care so it's outputting. Where's the base? The base is at Cinera's test. So what we're talking about here is this. Name day 001. And this is not saying code 001. Right? So this is the output, the entry output. The thing that we were just talking about. And also, for all that base parameters, that's going to be passed in from somewhere, isn't it? Are we still in HTML to buffers here? I think we are. Jesus Christ. So, use the HTML buffer is set after the get base file name. I'll tell you what. Just exhaustively go through this function and make sure that we're using the right thing in the right place. So yeah, I guess it will just be a case of just going through the entire thing, looking for base file name. So we're kind of encountering this in various places, aren't we? Oh, we've noted it here. We've noted it here, but I don't think we'll necessarily hit them all. The reason we hit this one was because we were checking on the player URL prefix, which we don't care about anymore. That's why this came to our attention. But this base file name might not itself be wrapped in one of those if AFDs. Oh, we don't have the no cache boolean, do we? Do we? Oh right, yes, we were thinking, weren't we, whether we do have that or don't have it. So we have the idea of disabling query strings by setting a query string to be empty. I think we will be within our rights to say that in order to disable the cache directory, you set it to nothing. You've got these booleans here: single browser tab, ignore privacy. These are questions which are just like yes or no. Like there's no way around it. Like, you know, you don't sort of say ignore privacy and then set something that could be usefully used other than yes or no. In the same way that you could, you know, in the way that you can with the query string and the cache directory. So I think that's the rule. If the cache directory length is greater than 0, so it's no cache. So if the cache directory isn't 0, or that the mode no cache. So no cache means that the string will be 0. So we want to say if the string length, if the current project cache directory length is greater than 0, or that. Jesus. I think we might actually have to note that. So no cache, we're not adding that. False integration isn't the same deal. That's literally just yes or no. So insert category, this was the interesting thing, wasn't it? We need to change this to take a string. Does it check if we've even got medium passed in? Hopefully it doesn't. It also needs to take the current project, although the current project is global. Tell you what, let's defer some of this actually. Rather than doing this whole function now, let us just make it take the string and pass strings to this function. Then, when we come around to the next phase of this process, deleting the category medium array, then we go in and we do the actual get medium from project functionality. So wherever we're using marker, we just need to fix up that. I'm not sure that would be super easy to see actually. This is again just temporary. Got a feeling it takes that as well, doesn't it? Yeah. By the way, I'm listening to Electrolane's album, The Power Out. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. Is that just using the category medium index? Yeah, it is, isn't it? So I think is that all that we needed to do? Just use the medium there. Sorry, the marker. I think it might be, mightn't it? Because these guys are all using the thing in the local media. This guy. Like I say, we are going to go over this properly in a bit. But with a bit of luck, this should just suffice for now to get us going. And that's talking about that. Is that saying the marker as well? Yeah. Somebody up there is talking about the marker. We should actually just get errors for this, so it wouldn't be a problem. So I think this should build now, and we should hit a few more errors where we need to just wrap 0. Some of these guys. Should we've hit this error? Because default medium. Oh, we are saying it should be the string. Okay, fine. So they want to know what the default medium, which is kind of interesting. Although it's kind of not really, because the default medium, we've already pulled it out as a string, haven't we? We don't have the force integration. And we were just saying skip it, weren't we? Yeah, eighth. Argument 1. So now takes the page location and the entry output. Doesn't give a shit about the buffer. That's what it was. The old thing was using buffer stuff. So it wants this. And this. Pointed to that probably, actually. Yeah, it wanted to point to this. And then rather than do the buffer, oh, we also needed to say, because this returns something, doesn't it? Yeah, it returns that. So it's the... Oh, right, construct directory. Oh, we need the index. We need the search directory too. Okay. Other than that, that seems right, doesn't it? Yeah. We just checked. Extending a string, it reallocs the dest. Ah, so you shouldn't really do that. So yeah, I probably actually want to do the following. Does that make sense? So you initialize the path to be whatever that ends up being. You remove that, so you're removing that search location directory, and then you extend that string to become the actual file. Although now that I think about it, you need to read the file first, don't you? Okay. Fuck it. Let's do them separately. So let's just roll it back to how it actually was. Somewhat. So it's search page path. So we don't need the copy string at least, we don't need the decline buffer, we will need freeze. So it's constructing the same kind of thing. Constructing the other way around. I suppose for all that. For funsies, do it that way around. So you remove the search page path, and then you read the search directory. No idea. Again, this is another one where we're going to end up deleting the product info array. Yeah, there you go. This also should be able to use the current product directly rather than bothering at all about product index. I suppose that's one idea, isn't it? Well, again, we're going to be guided by this. When we delete the product info array, we'll get prompted to do this kind of stuff. Print it out, isn't it? Oh, it's copy string. Mode. Single tab. Ah. We do have that boolean, don't we? Don't we? So we've put in this. Where's theme, by the way? Got project themes, that's fine. Don't bother figuring out the theme here. It should already come through from the config, yeah. Don't bother figuring out it. Yeah, right. So yeah, right. We've established that. Right, current project ID, nonsense. It's nothing to do with that. The theme.length. So I guess you could just say that the theme is actually, we could just straight up just do that. So we don't need to do anything more fancy. Theme. This is failing though, isn't it? Incompatible pointed. Well, maybe not. Tell you what, since these guys are all using the current project, why not just use the actual current project? What's the harm? So that's the first variable. Data single is that. That makes sense. And then this one here is the second theme. These are all going to need it as well, aren't they? So the idea is just so it's the theme, then we want the ID. Base URL. Oh shit. That isn't going to compile. And that's also not that. Uh-oh. Anybody remember what it was? I think we're fine actually, aren't we? It's just that. And then we're just about to do the base URL. And then finally the pilot location. Okay, so we've got past there. Again, it would be nice if we had an actual copy string that supported our length string, but we don't. This is just a regular old one of these. So now they want this, construct player URL. Have we done this one? No, we haven't. Or have we? Oh, hang on a minute, we kind of have, haven't we? Because it's taken a string pointer. I'm just questioning it because the previous construct functions, you know, we did a bunch of construct functions. Which return a car star. Yeah, this guy here. Right, we did these. So we sort of moved away from passing in a buffer to just, I mean, it is using the thing, actually. It's using the main memory. Yeah, you can kind of see how they're all doing this. You can see that they're all returning something. Similarly, this resolve path, this wants to be taking something that's on the heap, which is really strongly arguing for this construct function working in the same way as the other people, which is that they don't take a buffer, they don't do anything like this, claiming buffer stuff. Similarly, this person doesn't take it. They instead return car stars. I wonder if we might as well actually have just returned strings. I think maybe in the cases that we did, So it's only passing it to printf. Really? So constructing that whole thing just for the purposes of passing it to printf. Yeah, that was it, wasn't it? So when we're constructing these guys, we're actually constructing them as so that we can set the path of these people. And the path is a cat star. But I think we figured that it might be easiest to do that because we're using like system functions on the paths. You know, we're using stuff like fopen, aren't we? And the well, that doesn't do it. Well, yeah, read file to buffer. Right. It's using fopen. So here we go. Fopen on the file path. Right. So at least we're in the right kind of format for that. If it was a string, we'd have to construct a little null terminated string just for the purposes of sending it to fopen. So where's project URL being used? Okay, so that's given us enough size to fit the correlation buffers. Player URL. So it's used simply to compute the entry length. Is that right? Which is then in turn used to compute this length. And it's multiplying the entry length. Player URL. Entries head account. So the entry length. Is this just complete bullshit? Like plus size of text plus 82. Jesus Christ. Apologies for followers of the Christian. Well, he's Jewish, wasn't he? He was actually Jewish, Jesus, apparently. Search to buffer. This guy, Malot's collation buffers search. Yeah. Push asset line mark. This all seems garbage. So it seems like a lot of this is just garbage, doesn't it? Should we just not think too hard about this and just get something resembling something working? Yeah, I suppose we're in this situation. We've got to produce this. Well, hold on a second. Haven't we written this? Let's say, haven't we did write this function. Well, at least we did something to it. So I think let's to do these dudes. Pretty goddamn sure that this is a sized thing. Was it here? I think it was here. So where's this being initialized? Yeah, this is being initialized to a DB entry. It's a DB entry pointer to a DB entry, which we have established our fixed size. I think we're satisfied that this is now doing what we want it to, are we not? Construct directory path. Yeah, this is the dude that we want to be mimicking the output of. So we don't need any of this, and we just do need to wrap up the base file name. So we don't need a buffer, do we? Okay, this is the whole function. Declaim buffer. So we're saying here, the player path copy string, that, and then appending that. So yeah, we want to be using this to do that, and then we extend the output directory path. So the construct directory path is going to be the player path, right? Let's call it player path. And then down here we extend the player path with the with the thingy, and then use that player path somewhere. Here. Yeah, that'd be right. And because this is a statically initialized thing, it's on the stack rather. This doesn't need to get deallocated there. So yeah, let's just say player path is equal to this. Then where I was previously using player page path, I instead pass player path. And then after having done that, I should be able to free that allocation, shouldn't I? So this is just generating the search page, so it needs the search path. Yeah, same deal. That's not what I want. Well, that wasn't what I wanted either. So it's taking a string now. Interestingly, are we calling this anywhere else? Calling it there. So I guess we just sorted this out at that point. Yeah, there's a wrap 0 I there. Okay, here we go. So this guy isn't taking a printf format, so we need to make it take a string instead of a car star. And then these guys all happen. So 89% of the way through the file. Just give us a couple of minutes and I'll continue. I think I might like to get through the file, then I'll go and get some food, and maybe we'll continue doing a bit more. How long have we done? We've been doing 2 hours. Yeah, let's see how we go. But I just do need a couple of minutes, so just bear with me. glance in the chat, nothing going on. Cool. So, clear copy string no format needs to, instead of taking a car star, needs to take a string. It's already taken a string because it's a macro. Clear dest size. Fine. Length equal to 0. Start equals string. So while that. Yeah, again, like. This is bullshit. If length is greater than or equal to the dest size, it's been passed a buffer too small. I mean. No, mate. Just do the check first. Clearly. Isn't that right? Hang on. Dest plus plus. The dest size. See, passing this to DB entries header project ID. Apparently. So the idea is it's supposed to clear the entire thing. Yeah, it's supposed to clear the whole thing and then do the stuff. So it's like, yeah, that is just what you do, isn't it? If the length is greater than the dest size, I think it needs to be that as well, by the way. Then you fail. And also, right. Don't need that. Don't need this. String length is greater than the dest size. Should we say the dest? Well, the dest, because we need to have enough space to fit the whole string plus the null terminator. So I think we need to say if it's greater than the dest size plus 1. Or rather, if the length plus 1 is greater than the dest size. I think that's the case. That's the test that we need. So quick gander. I think we determined a DB asset. Yeah. Well, actually, no, it's not that, is it? We're talking about the assets. So these guys are assets. An asset has a file name length. So yeah, this is a wrap 0 implicitly terminated. So what we're trying to copy here, this is the credential username. The credential username is just a car star. Oh, it's these bastards. So I think when we delete the credentials array, this should have to be redone. Where is it? Where are we? Sort and abbreviate speakers. Speakers count. Speakers are there. Speaker credential info is a pointer to credentials. Yeah. This is the bullshit that we're getting rid of. So wherever that error was, we just do whatever it needs to do at the moment. Click original format, I think we just said. It now takes a string, yeah. And also, sorry, the question was, is it wrap 0 or is it the other way around? And it was wrap 0. Base file name. Can I just see where this is set? Yeah, I just don't know if I can. Do so comes in as a car star. I think this is actually site, isn't it? Tile. Yeah. So that means we do a wrap 0i. There is something wrong about that particular thing that I just did, isn't it? So it was like this. Collation buffers title. Click on this window format. Unterminated argument list. Could that just be because it's on one line? Really can't figure out what to do about it. Ah, maybe not actually. Okay, so that was all it was. Just didn't have enough parentheses. Alright. Was there a thing around that? No, there wasn't an AFT around it. We now have an AFD here, so there's an AFD up here. I think we've handled this by virtue of the fact that we've just made click on the string name format take a string. So Yes, I think we're going to have to. Once we've cleared all the AFDs, I think we just go back through and just delete the if AFDs, I think. Oh, right, there's no player URL prefix. Clear copies uniform. Aha. Aha. So we're going to have to do, aren't we? It's going to have to be a to do. Because we're getting rid of the player URL prefix. Is this upgrade database? Yeah. This is a bit weird, actually. Because there's going to be no such thing as a current project player URL. So we won't be able to copy that in to that location. Which kind of just suggests that you don't copy anything. Because you're not going to have it to copy. And then if you come down and you get into the database 5 version, or rather the database 4 to 5 case, only then do you copy in the new output variable. Well, actually, this is going to be got rid of completely. So, even if we're coming through here, by the time we get through to the 4 to 5 case, this guy will have disappeared anyway. So there'll be nowhere to put it. So I think that just argues just for saying, since this whole update is to do with getting the database version 5 into the mix, I guess you just delete this. Oh yeah, shit. This project info. Maybe I didn't exactly plan to do this because I was thinking of getting rid of the earlier versions when we go to the early database versions when we go to database version Sorry, when we go to the application version 1.0.0, which we're not actually doing at this moment, maybe now is just a good time to kibosh the earlier database versions. I think this shouldn't, case 3 shouldn't be inserting any product info, should it? Because that should be already stored from somebody who is on database 2. And you can see that we're not actually, that's correct, we're not doing that. We're not doing a loop like this over the product info. So this is kind of suggesting to me that for our update here, when we do the case 4, right, we're currently on database version 4, but we need to upgrade from 4 to 5. I think that we can probably actually just, we can do the case 4 and maybe we just already just enforce, like if it's below 4, we just don't handle it. So we even delete case 3. I think at the very least actually we can't handle case 2 to 3 because we're not going to have the product info. Does that make any sense at all? DB3 is only ever operating on the stuff that we read in and the current project. Yeah, I mean also the current project is a bit of a movable feast as well. Because this whole update is going to involve multiple projects. So perhaps do this either the next time we have to bump the version or when we scrap single edition. And we're scrapping single edition right now. Try and deprecate earlier versions. And just enforce clean board. That's the first version that uses hex signatures. These guys. Cinera, entry, asset. Yeah, maybe in line with this comment, we should just do this. Yeah. We're deleting it, aren't we? So let's just fuck it all off. I mean, it's the cases, isn't it? It's just these dudes. It's cases 1 to 3. Even down to this one. I think that'll build when it, because we initialize the dudes up at the top. And this is not in that function, is it? This is delete DVs. So yeah, I'm inclined to just say that. On we go. Restart directories. It's taking a buffer, parent directory. What's the buffers there for? Full path. So it's just repeatedly lopping off directories. And then it's trying to free the old play directory, which is going to have a bunch of non-terminists in, isn't it? So I kind of feel, actually, rather than, because this is simply removing, I think this should actually take a string. This is going to build, but I think we will, to do this. This guy's going to have to transform the incoming, if this takes a string, you'll have to transform that incoming string into a car star so we can pass it to remove. But you see what I'm kind of driving at? If you make a string, right, you're setting the base pointer of a string to be allocated to some size, and you're setting the length, and the length just happens to correspond with that pointer, but it doesn't interfere with anything within that pointer, with anything within that allocation. All it means is that you are able to kind of produce little subsections of it, and the base pointer remains the same in the same place. So I am I'm inclined to just say change this to be a string, to operate on strings. Not right now. And also mark that AFD as well. April Fool's Day. Wasn't it just this? Wasn't this the dude that I was talking about? Maybe it's somebody else. I mean, this would be the same deal. Remove child directories. Delete player page. Which one are we failing on it? This is already a thing. Oh, Jesus, god damn it. I see. Sorry, a bit out to lunch there. Was it delete play pat? No, it wasn't that. Was it this then? No. Change this to take. Wasn't that what I wrote? Change this to take a string marker. Oh, it's operate. Remove directory recursively. Ah. And we just... Where were we up to? It's remove child directories, isn't it? Do we have another one? Yeah, up there. So in the same fashion, we make this separate in a string. Maybe the important thing is that the remove directory takes a string actually. Remove directory recursively. Remove child directories. Maybe remove directory recursively removes itself, but remove the child directory doesn't bother. Is that right? I mean, that kind of suggests that if we're doing remove directory recursively, we just want to call remove child directories and then finally read the D that we're on, doesn't it? Yeah, it does seem to me like you'd want to be able to pass the path with whatever length you've set it to have. And then this dude just transforms that incoming string into the necessary thing for remove to take. Remove child directories, buffer full path to parent directory, change operator string. So what's the operation on now? All play directory. Oh shit, is this one of those things? Yeah, right, I see. Oh crap, so we're kind of already there, aren't we? Remove child directories, remove child directories. So yeah, a lot of these are just talking about that. Open dir is taking a string there when it can't do. Another open dir. Lots of printing. Why is that even happening? Oh, right. Yeah, this is just AFD'd, wasn't it? We'd probably AFEing that. That's just setting the config, the old config. So yeah, more printing, I think. Pack template. Probably just need to wrap. Oh no, I can't wrap that, so that'd have to take a string. Tell you what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a break. I know I was away for like a couple of minutes, half an hour ago. I'm going to take a break for some food, and then I reckon we're going to do we're going to change all these remove char directories to take a string and operate on a string as a string. And then continue, I guess. Make the other guys do whatever they need to do. And then, yeah, by the time we've done for today, hopefully we'll have cleared all of these current compile errors, and we can get rid of that AFD define. We will have the AFD markers are scattered around the file that we can just jump between to address to-dos. And then it would be a case of enabling the AFEs so we can handle those. But yeah, for now I'm just going to go and get some food, and then return in a bit. So thanks very much, Heroes and Heroines, for being here for the last 3 hours or whatever, 2.5 hours. Thank you for being beautiful and fantastic and inspirational, and Oatly, thanks for being Oatly. Until next time, probably in about an hour's time, I guess, maybe. Farewell for now.